Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
Yes, Write That Down is back.
Write this down.
After a vacation over the holidays, much to Judd's chagrin.
Write this down.
But we are back.
I'm just glad it's back, okay?
The final
glad it's
stretch.
back. I missed it.
1 month until the Write That Down season comes to its conclusion. We go Super Bowl to Super Bowl. The only show in America, this and the OG edition of Write That Down on Minnesota Sports with Mackey and Judd,
Write it down. You like writing things down.
where we actually put statistics next to our predictions and admit how wrong we are. Judd will never admit that he's wrong.
Yeah. Why can't you admit you're wrong? Well, I do every Wednesday, and I don't do it once. I do it twice.
Yeah. Do you guys out there
Who
in
else
your
eats
lives?
crow? Who else does that?
We've
Twice
heard
on
from
Wednesday.
some listeners that have incorporated this like into their families and friend groups.
It's in mine all the time. My wife makes predictions all the time. Write that down. All
Write
the
this
time.
down, Dex.
Yeah.
You were wrong.
You were wrong. You will forget at least 2 items that I told you to get at the grocery store. Write it down.
Oh, Dex.
Correct. Yeah.
Got to take that list with you.
So we'll get to a very beefy accountability session because all of the season-long stuff hit, and it's pretty loaded. The visual is going to be quite jarring how small the font is for
God.
the YouTube audience.
Oh, just don't read them all then, okay? I hate when that happens.
I won't buzz them all.
Buzz.
Why don't you read all the cool things at Quick Trip, all the products,
No.
alphabetically right now?
I would be happy to, because guess what? At Quick Trip, it's nothing but
Apples,
good news.
bananas.
It's nothing but
Carrots.
sunshine. Look at that. You see lettuce. Yeah, but that's only the tip of the iceberg. That's just a little joke for you there. Because look at all of the options that you have when you walk in a Quick Trip, the Karuba coffee right there. It is a grocery store, but it's really a convenience store. What does that mean? That means that there's no real time spent. What you want in and out. Guess what? Unlike some convenience stores, you're going to walk in, you're going to see some smiling cashiers ready to help you. You're not going to have to wait for a guy to come out of the back because he was doing something else. That's right, Quick Trip, the true professionals. Not to mention the quality gasoline guarantee, and just put the app on your phone. Guess what? You don't even have to go in if you don't want to. It's that easy at Quick Trip.
Also, Roku TV. Roku is America's #1 TV streaming platform, and I've been a Roku. I used to have the old. You plug the external box into your TV like 10 years ago. I'm an OG Roku guy. But now they actually make their own TVs. They have a new line of smart TVs made by Roku. They've got like a sports tab on your Roku home screen so you can browse live and upcoming events. Obviously, all the sports and entertainment apps that you would ever want. Great TV to watch football games on. I think it was 3 months ago. Yeah, September or 4 months ago that we got a 65-inch Roku Pro Series 4K TV to fill out the Mackey living room. Best sports watching decision that we've ever made. Roku.com to learn more or shop at a retailer nearest you. Okay, deep breath.
I'm not ready. No, I'm not ready for this.
We'll start with Judd's accountability. Let's see here. I had to go 2 pages on some of these.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. That's not surprising. There you go.
Here's the first page for Judd. Yeah, it's a lot of red here. I promise I won't blow your eardrums out and hit the buzzer for all these, but I will hit the buzzer for some. So you said the Vikings would play the Falcons in the first round of the playoffs. Dallas Turner would have more sacks as a rookie than Danielle Hunter in his rookie season. I think 6.5 was the number there. No.
Oof.
Bijan Robinson leading the NFL in all-purpose yards. Justin Jefferson, 2,000 yards. Vikings rushing offense finishing 16th or higher in yardage. That wasn't that high of a bar, It's like
Average.
the fact that they're a 14-win team that can't run the ball inside the 20-yard line is insane.
I know.
Metellus would lead the Vikings in interceptions. He had a handful, but Byron Murphy had more. You had no faith in Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
Shame.
Yeah, I got to give him credit.
Love wins.
Well, there was like a leaked PR memo that people were sending around in September that like this they're going to break up. It's all planned.
Yep.
I don't know. You said Caleb and Jalen Hurts would both be benched at some point. Dallas Turner would lead the NFL rookies in sacks. KJ Osborne would lead the Patriots in receptions, receiving yards.
Didn't even make it through the season.
No. Caleb Williams would throw more interceptions. He actually only threw 6 interceptions. You said than some of these other rookie quarterbacks.
Yep.
Aaron Jones would run for at least a hundo in one of the games against the Packers. You said the Falcons would make the playoffs but lose in the first round.
Yeah.
And that the NFL would have clarification on the hip drop tackle.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not good.
But
here's some green for you.
Okay.
You said Michael Penix Jr. would start before the season is finished. Vikings would lose 10 or fewer fumbles. They lost 15 in 2023. They lost 9, which kind of put them middle of the pack. So it's
Who cares? I made it. Got green on that one.
Jordan Addison would lead Vikings receivers in rushing attempts, which he had 3 tied. He tied for the lead with, like, I think Naylor had 3. Aaron, you had the same prediction twice. We're only going to award it once, that Aaron Jones would have 40 or more receptions in 2024. You had it like 3 months apart.
Okay.
Patriots would win 4 or fewer games. Vikings would rank top 10 in scoring defense. And Drake May will have a better passer rating than Caleb Williams by 0.3 points, by the way.
Yes.
I'm going to leave this one on the board here. You said the next head coach of the Giants will be Bill Belichick.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're hanging on to Brian Daboll. So, like, if they fire Daboll in a year and then buy out Bill Belichick from North Carolina.
Expiration date, so I've got a little bit of room here.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's a lot to digest there. Every year, Judd's good for the same prediction twice, like 2 months apart, just forgetting that he made the prediction.
Mm-hmm. That's not surprising.
Mm-hmm. So the write that down police had to come in. We were able to fit all of mine on one page here.
What a comeback.
50-50. We'll start with the bad. Hawkinson will finish the regular season top 5 in receptions among tight ends or yards, even though he was injured. No. Vikings would rack up at least 12 rushing touchdowns. Well, they only had 9. Vikings would be top 10 best turnover percentage. They weren't. Dallas Turner would have a bunch of sacks. Texans would be a top 5 scoring offense. Eagles would miss the playoffs. Jefferson on the cover of Madden 25. The curse continues, by the way. It was Christian McCaffrey was on the cover.
Yeah, you don't want to be on that. You just don't want to.
I mean, if you're on it, you might as well just start planning for your next career, right? In the green, I said the Vikings would beat at least 2 or more teams. I'm sorry, at least 2 more teams. So they beat the Jets. I made this prediction like after they beat the Jets and Saleh got fired, that they would beat at least 2 more teams that would fire their coaches. Bears and Jaguars. Probably a borderline touchdown, but they did get 2 cracks at the Bears, who were guaranteed to fire a coach. The Jaguars, like the Titans, were maybe going to fire a coach. So I'll just take the chunk yardage here. Chargers would win at least 10 games in 2024. And then we get to some touchdowns here. That the Vikings' collective passer rating in 2024 would be higher than the other 5 highest quarterbacks drafted. Sam Darnold edging out Jaden Daniels in passer rating.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
I said Sam Darnold he came into the year with a 78 passer rating. I said he'd have a passer rating of 90 or higher with the Vikings. Mm-hmm. OG Darnold defender here. And that the 49ers would miss the playoffs in 2024.
What a touchdown comeback.
That's a great comeback.
Wait, kind of. Wait for the rest of this to play out.
Oh,
okay.
Let's just say it looked like a great comeback until
Well, it's still a strong, but
somebody else went gangbusters.
Oh.
But it's still a strong rebound.
Yeah, it's not as embarrassing as having like 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And then we'll leave this on the board for now based on semantics. I said Brian Flores would get a head coaching interview after the 2024 season. It's been requested. Does he have to complete the interview for this to semantically be correct?
With the way that you phrased it, yeah.
Okay, listeners.
Holy.
And I'll tell you, on the listeners, I actually had, for time purposes, there's like probably 10 or 15 more that we'll just put into next week's accountability session.
Okay.
There's just so much to sift through here. This is 10-point font on your YouTube screen right now.
I can't even read it with my glasses on unless I get real close.
Can you read that first one for us?
Sure. Sam Darnold will finish the regular season with at least 36 touchdown passes, surpassing Kirk Cousins' best single season total with the Vikings.
He just needed one against the Lions to make this happen. But Kirk will be etched above Sam Darnold in
As
that
it should
category
be, damn it.
for the rest of Vikings.
As Kirk wants it.
Exactly. Just kind of selecting a few of these here. Dylan was very optimistic about the Vikings running game. He thought that Aaron Jones and Ty Chandler would have both 1,200 rushing yards apiece, that they would just go gangbusters. Jalen Naylor would have more receiving yards than any other team's third wide receiver from Frank. Dan said at least 5 Vikings players would have at least 5 or more sacks. Only 3, and then a bunch had a small handful. But, here's Christian here. The Falcons would win no more than 10 games, make the playoffs, and lose in the first round. The spirit of that was correct. Mm-hmm. Jarrett said Teddy will sound the horn and lead the skull chant in a Vikings game. That traitor Teddy signed back with the Lions. So if you want all of these, you can read these on the YouTube version. Big bloodbath. But look at this for the listeners.
Oh my God.
The listeners
Good Lord.
came in very strong down the stretch for these season-long predictions. Here's the green. Bobby said the NFC North will have the best winning percentage of all. He said this like 3 weeks ago. So if it was a preseason prediction, it would have been a home run or a touchdown, I guess. But they did finish with an NFL best division winning percentage. Eric said NFC North, before the season, will have the best or second best winning percentage in the NFL this year. Rich said Vikings defense better than 23rd in defensive DVOA. Our guy AJ had the Vikings as the number 1 seed, or the Lions as the number 1 seed in the NFC. Bob said Vikings quarterbacks as a whole will throw for more passing yards and touchdowns than Kirky Boy in 2024. And then we get to 6 touchdowns.
Wow.
From the listeners here. Brendan said the Vikings will only lose 1 or more games the rest of the season, and this was made like 2 months ago. He just said they're gonna literally just run the table except for maybe 1 loss and finish 14-3.
That's a touchdown, and then some.
Clara said Vikings will go 3-1 in their remaining divisional games, which that for specificity that is a touchdown. This one's not a touchdown, but Clara also said Van Ginkel will be a Pro Bowler. Brendan said not a single player who Kwesi let walk in free agency will make the Pro Bowl. Well, Kirk sputtered out. He looked like he was going to, but then he sputtered out. Mm-hmm. And Daniil Hunter did not make the AFC Pro Bowl roster. But at least 2 of Kwesi's new acquisitions will make the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Touchdown.
This is so impressive.
Andy said, this is a parlay, Vikings defense top 5 scoring, top 5 turnovers, top 5 in sacks. Yes, yes, yes. Austin said Vikings will have at least 2 primetime flexes. Well, Colts and Lions games are both flexed to primetime. And Matt had a parlay. Vikings would be top 10 in blitz rate, top 10 in scoring defense, and would win at least 7 games, which would have hit the over on that 6.5. So the listeners, man, an all-time accountability session here.
What a rebound.
And then Declan just had a few things come off the board. Harrison Smith involved in a turnover against Seattle a few weeks ago. Vikings number 1 seed. Titans win at least 7 games.
Forgot about that one.
Number 1 overall pick, I think.
Yeah.
And then on the good side, you said Vikings Lions would be flexed to 3 p.m. or later, which is a check down that we made fun of you for, but you get the point. Texans hit the over on 9.5. Barely, got 10. And Darnold would not throw a pick 6 with the Vikings. A low bar to clear. So with that, with 1 month left until the Super Bowl, until the end of the Write That Down season, here's where we are on the 2024 stats. Declan leading the completion percentage battle, 41%-ish. Judd, 33.5. I'm at 33.3. Listeners from 28 up to 30.5%, but they have taken the touchdown lead. I was all excited, like, I'm back in this race.
It's insurmountable.
18 touchdowns for the listeners. You guys each have 11. I'm up to 10, but mathematically going to be pretty tough to catch the listeners. And then all-time career stats, listeners have vaulted into the all-time touchdown lead with 56 or 57. I have 56, Declan 52, Judd with 44. Declan leads the career completion percentage battle. So, holy cow, you guys.
Well,
pretty wild.
Congratulations, listeners. Like, that's one of the great pages I've ever seen. Might be the best page I've ever seen. I'll write that down.
So, I think mathematically, are we all going to get, is it 4 weeks of predictions leading up? So we'll all have like 12. So you'd have to just go straight touchdown predictions, hit on almost all of them, and hope the listeners don't hit on any more touchdowns in order for you to pass them. So well done. This is like a Peyton Manning 2013 Broncos performance.
And this is a franchise that ordinarily has struggled.
The listener franchise?
Yeah. The listener franchises, I mean, all due respect out there, folks. But, I mean, ordinarily you've struggled. I mean,
not the most accurate, but they'll hunt down it's Sam Darnold. Like they're hunting down the field for big plays.
And on the accuracy discussion, you did have an entire page of red, but you also had one of green.
Yeah, so who cares? Just flush it and forget. Yeah, hunt down the field. Amazing. So let's get Kylie in here, making her debut. That's totally the wrong button.
Oh, are we getting the flag for Kylie?
We'll get the flag for Kylie.
Okay,
that's right.
Here you go, Kylie. Here's the flag for you.
One of the 6% representing the women who listen to this show.
I'm gonna need my fiance to do that every time I walk in the door now.
Honey, I'm home with groceries.
Yeah.
Your poor fiance. He's gonna hate our show now. He's gonna be like,
go grab the mail real quick.
Yeah.
Do you know what I did today?
I love it.
Just gonna go get some gas. Don't worry. Okay, sounds good. So, Kylie, tell us your background as a Vikings fan. When did you get hooked on this team?
So I kind of hate my background as a Vikings fan, honestly. It sounds super bandwagony. I've been a sports fan all my life. The problem is my family has not been NFL fans, really. My dad has been a season ticket Gopher fan for like 40 years. So big time like college sports fan, but I never grew up watching the NFL very often. But then in 2016, 2017, I was working downtown Minneapolis, and that was when the Super Bowl was here. So got very into like the Super Bowl experience stuff that was going on down there. And that was obviously when the Vikings had their fun little moment and kind of crapped it all away at the end, obviously. But got really into it and then decided to kind of stick around. And then just kind of threw myself into the NFL and watching it more and kind of been hooked ever since.
Yeah. Judd, you're muted. Professional
I was muted. No, I'm not. Yeah. Sorry about that. So were you a Gopher fan previously? Because of your dad?
I didn't go to the U of M, but kind of by default.
Okay, because I was going to say, I think if I'm going to suffer, I'd pick the Vikings because at least it goes somewhere, right? Like it can be, oh my God, that could be good. The Gophers, it feels like, the Duke's mayonnaise bowl just doesn't really cut it for me.
What's this shit? You're implying that Gopher football fans are suffering right now? We're celebrating a top 5 moment in the history of the program.
I'll never eat mayonnaise again.
Flava Flav pouring mayonnaise on PJ Fleck.
Oh, stop.
I also went to the Gopher Ohio State game on Monday, and if that's not suffering, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, just double overtime. Ridiculous. 6 fans. Yeah. Kylie was one of 6 people in the bar and watching that game.
One of 6 people under the age of 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. That's 100% true.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some skeletons just sitting in like the 4th row with Letterman jacket on.
Terrible.
That's mean. Anyways, okay, Kylie, we're going to start with you. We'll go Kylie, Judd, Dex, back to me. We'll make 3 trips around the room. The predictions have to be quantifiable and either football or show related. Otherwise, you can pretty much do whatever you want. So
write this down.
Fire away, Kylie.
So here I was thinking I was going to have to make like a lot of touchdown predictions, but I guess I don't. And I don't even know if this would be considered a touchdown anymore. I think a month ago when I reached out to Declan, it might have been. But I don't really believe in the Lions. I just don't. I think Dan Campbell's kind of a bonehead. So the Lions will not win a playoff game. Just one and done.
Wow.
So they would, it's possible that the Vikings could depending on
Yeah.
how this shakes out, that the Vikings could make that happen for you.
Yep. Yeah.
Bonehead is a
Bonehead's
highly
great.
underrated way to describe people.
Old school,
like 'em.
right there.
Little PTSD at my father definitely used that on me. Like that definitely bonehead. Like,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
a good word.
I can hear it. I can hear the inflection. I can hear the disappointment in his voice when he says
Would
it.
he call you a bonehead, or would he call things that you did boneheaded?
Oh, both. Well, both.
Okay.
Both.
Because it's a
Yeah,
little more
both were used.
personal. If I say, like, that was kind of a boneheaded decision, I'm poking at the decision, not the
No.
person. But if I call you a bonehead,
It's endearing,
that's a
though,
personal
too.
attack.
From like a dad, old school dad. It's sort of endearing.
Not my father. That was
You bonehead?
yeah, you.
Yeah, it's
you-
sort of endearing. There's
Thanks,
worse
Dad.
thing. There's worse things parents can call you.
There
than
certainly
bonehead.
is, but bonehead was that. No, that hit me. That
But
hit me
Dan
pretty good.
Campbell definitely qualifies.
Yeah.
Like if I was to, if I just saw a picture of Dan Campbell and they said throw out 5 words that describes this man, bonehead definitely is one of them.
That's a good one.
I just feel like he's like the guy at like the frat party who's like banging a beer against his head like multiple times. Like
For sure.
I don't know.
Yeah. Blood
I
coming
might
down his
get heat
forehead.
for that, and this prediction might be totally wrong, and they win the Super Bowl. It will not change my opinion.
Dan Campbell plays beer pong with bourbon. You know, that's what he does at frat parties.
And he's still
Write
sober.
this down.
Sam Darnold
Stay
will
hydrated.
Sam Darnold will throw for 2 or more touchdowns against the Rams on Monday.
Oh, bounce back.
So yeah, I think I hope for the Vikings' sake and our sake he does. But yeah, I think he'll throw for a couple of touchdowns. I think they'll scheme up something. I will be shocked if it's anything nearing what we saw on Sunday night. Like that's such an epic meltdown. But I mean, he could also throw for 2 touchdowns and 3 picks. Who knows? But 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, you still get the point if that happens.
Exactly right. Because I'm
how
not
you
making
play the
any
game.
interception predictions.
All right, Dex, your first prediction.
All right, I'll go for one here for a TD. All the wild card teams in the NFC will win this weekend. So 5, 6, 7 will all win this weekend.
All
would
of
mean-
the okay.
Yep. So
Gotcha,
5,
gotcha.
6,
So
7
the
seeds.
division. So you're saying, wait, all of them?
All of the NFC wildcard teams, 5,
Okay.
6, 7, will win their games this
The
weekend.
NFC.
The NFC.
NFC,
Gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha.
Yep.
Do we know about Jalen Hurts yet?
Still in concussion protocol as we record this,
Yeah.
which leads
I
me
think
to
he
my first prediction.
miraculously is going to be fine on Saturday. Shocking, I know.
But he's not going to be like maybe fine to be cleared and play.
Yeah.
But is he really going to be fine to play at the highest level? Which leads me to this prediction: the Packers will beat the Eagles this weekend on Super Wildcard weekend.
Write this down.
So if he doesn't play, I think Packers win. If he does play, it becomes a little more dicey. But is he really going to be operating at it? He hasn't practiced in 3 weeks. A little foggy, you know?
Remember
Still
2.5 weeks ago when he gave a thumbs up to the ref and was like, "Yeah, I'm totally good to go back in."
Yeah. I think he got taken out by the concussion spotter, right?
Yeah.
So like he was just going to that's called he got his bell rung. No problem.
For a long time. It was. Yeah, 100%.
Write this down.
Okay, back to Kylie. Second prediction.
So in watching the Rams after they beat us, Matthew Stafford is just kind of confusing to watch this year. He has some really weird games where he just doesn't look good and doesn't seem like he knows who he's throwing to. So I am going to say that the Vikings defense will intercept Matthew Stafford at least 2 times.
Okay. Yeah, the Vikings finished with 33 takeaways this season, which led the NFL. A little leaky in the yardage department, but that's got to be the Vikings' defensive path. If you can keep forcing a turnover or 2 every game,
Write this down.
then Sam Darnold doesn't have to be perfect and carry this thing. Judd, what's your next prediction?
Write this
My next
down.
prediction is another positive one for Monday night's game. Justin Jefferson will have 100 or more yards receiving.
Okay.
Just for context on that, in the Thursday night game in Los Angeles, 115 yards.
Okay, so you're lowering the
think-
bar a little bit.
So I think he's going to.
For
Oh yeah,
completion
just a little
percentage
bit. But
purposes.
I do think that between Darnold and most importantly Justin, we're going to get bounce backs.
Okay.
Write this down.
Dex.
Write this down. I did do the math. I went back and looked at the touchdown logs to confirm this. You guys tell me if this is a home run or a touchdown. Sorry. The Vikings will have at least one rushing touchdown from inside the 10-yard line on Sunday. So I went back, looked at all the rushing touchdowns. They have, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, only 7 rushing touchdowns from inside the 10.
Yeah, I mean, it's
borderline.
I know
Probably
that the
just a chunk
Vikings
play.
are bad at it, but they've done it 7
It should
times, and
happen.
you're literally saying that if they have the ball at the 1-yard line, that they're going to get a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, that's true.
It's. I know that they're bad at it, but I feel like out of principle, this can't be a touchdown.
We can't just allow this.
No,
It was an ask. I didn't say
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
The
fact that we've
public
lowered
opinion
the
is
Vikings
in
have
that
lowered the bar so much that we're even debating whether or not scoring a rushing touchdown inside the 10 is a touchdown. I write that down.
How do you win 14 games?
Write this
though?
down.
That's a really good question.
It's crazy. There are teams with like 30 rushing touchdowns this year. The Vikings had 9. And the Vikings are throwing 11 passes on goal to go with Darnold nervous and sailing throws because they just don't trust it. So, okay, write this down.
Write this down.
The Rams will be called for a face mask penalty at some point during this game.
That's awesome.
Old John Hussey and his crew are gonna. It'll be maybe a makeup call, maybe it'll be legitimate, but yeah, they're not gonna miss it this time around. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's on Darnold, maybe it's somebody else, but the Rams will be called for a face mask penalty at some point in this game.
All right.
Write it down. Let's go.
Write this down.
Okay, back to Kylie for your third and final prediction.
All right. I need Declan to take off his headphones.
Oh wow.
Uh-oh.
Always like it when it's not.
We'll make sure here he's not cheating. Okay. Can you hear me?
So in game, I like watch your guys' Twitters because I enjoy like seeing what you guys tweet in game. Judd is very analytical and like well thought out tweets. Mackey, yours are very well thought out, but also like provide comedic relief. Declan's are very like from the gut, like just like he just tweets like it's just great.
Yeah, he's going through it. He's going through it.
Yeah. So my prediction is he is going to tweet at least 3 different memes in game.
It's brilliant.
During the Rams Vikings game.
So and those can be like
the
images or GIFs, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the guy with the pizza that walks in the room and the room's on fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is genius.
Can we say during the game window?
Yes.
Can we give you like a little like an hour pregame?
Yep.
Can we say on game day? Or do you want it to be during the game?
I want it to be like, let's say 7 p.m. to 11.
Okay. I'm just making a note here. Okay. Come on back. Dax, come back. And come back.
Oh,
Yeah.
My gosh.
That's a great prediction. Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Okay, here, so let's see. Let's hope it can't happen right now. Just so you know, there's
okay.
nothing you can do right now that would trigger this.
May I say of the predictions made about the 3 of us, and I have had a lot made about me. This is my favorite one of all time.
Is it? It's pretty.
This is my favorite one. This is as creative as you can get.
There's been some. I feel like some of the Judd ones are pretty funny. Like
They are funny. They're funny. Yes.
wasn't there one where like this might have been a long time ago, like 5 years ago, someone predicted you and Dawn went to like New York for a trip. This is probably pre-pandemic, and someone predicted that Judd would send out a photo of him and Dawn at like a New York sporting event. That Judd would drag Dawn to a New York sporting event, and there'd be photo evidence. And they're
I do love Judd's selfies when he posts those.
The ones that I do talking about sports or just general selfies of me.
General selfies.
Okay. Yeah.
But I did think about doing one because you guys, I think it was on Monday. Either on Monday's show, you guys were talking about how Judd never remembers anyone's name of people you have on the show. I was thinking about doing one where I would ask you guys to ask him on tomorrow's show what was the name of the girl and write that down, and that he wouldn't remember.
That would have been great.
You would have gotten that right.
Too. You got it right.
You would have
That
gotten.
would
We
have
might
been
just give you that one, actually.
Yeah,
Just give you that one.
Yeah, that's
So,
very
hey, Kylie, awesome stuff here. Good luck with your predictions. Since you've got this life-changing platform right now, is there anyone you'd like to thank that helped you get to this moment?
Yeah, I'll thank my fiance for putting up with me. I actually enjoy sports more than him in general. But he definitely has gotten into the Vikings chaos with me here, which he hates. So, but and also just my family, my parents and my brother for just raising me as a sports person. That's definitely been my life, going to my brother's hockey and baseball games and following in his footsteps of sports. So yeah, it's been my life, and I couldn't think of it any other way. And I'm glad to be a small minority of women that watch your show and listen to your show, because I think there needs to be more women in this realm. So I'm happy to represent.
agreed.
Kylie,
Absolutely.
representing the 6% of Purple Daily audience. Awesome stuff. We'll do it again sometime. Enjoy your football weekend, Kylie.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
All right,
Kylie.
guest listener predictor Kylie. We'll go through our final predictions and get back to the quarterback cesspool challenge after we check in on a standard heating and air and what they can do for you when it's, well, there's a bunch of things, but it's 0 degrees out right now, pretty much. So
Yeah, that's right. Because 75% of furnace issues start with the lack of maintenance. And the manufacturers recommend furnace tune-ups and maintenance every year if you're not doing it. And just like changing your oil in a car, if you're lacking on that, it's going to become a problem. And they're standard technicians. They're constantly training too. They pride themselves on the best and making sure everything is running up to speed. Schedule your tune-up at standardheating.com. Plus, you can join their Smart Club, which is a maintenance plan that takes care of equipment year-round. Your service call fees are waived. No cool appointments. They have great savings on those as well. Priority scheduling. Schedule your tune-up. Join the Smart Club at standardheating.com.
Also, Judd, a lot of people first week of January looking to drop some weight, maybe looking for some help. Who can help them?
Oh, I can tell you exactly. And that is, of course, my longtime friends at Livia Weight Control Centers, who can help you drop the weight. In fact, I went back a couple of months ago because, to be frank, Sports Dad, he needed a tune-up. So what happened? I went in, and within about a month and a half, I had dropped 15 pounds. That's right, because this program works. They also have GLP-1 meds for qualifying patients. Here's the key. It's a you-centric approach. So it's not just, hey, one plan for all. You get the comprehensive help and lifestyle plan that you need. It's absolutely outstanding. Join today, get 25% off their award-winning program. 9 centers in the Twin Cities. But here's the good news: if you're watching Purple Daily outside the metro, no problem at all, because the whole program can be done online virtually. Just check them out. LIVEA, livia.com to schedule your free consultation, or give them a call, 855-GO-LIVEA. Livia Weight Control Centers, I'm here to tell you, it works. Write that down.
Oh,
Write this down.
look at that. Wow, look at that tag on the end of that read
that
right there.
down.
Why don't you write this down?
Write it down. You like
That's a
writing
home.
things down?
That, by the way, is a touchdown.
So, Judd, we'll start with you here on the final trip around the room, your third and final prediction.
Okay, another one that will come off the board. On Monday night, I've been very positive thus far, but I got to throw in one that it just feels like it's low-hanging fruit. Will Reichert will miss at least one field goal on Monday night.
Oh, just planting the negativity.
Will Reichert. Something's off, man. Something's wrong.
It's because his misses have hit the uprights or the whatchamacallit, the crossbar mostly. That one he sliced, that was like his first.
Yeah.
Because he's always got that little baby draw if you're a golfer.
Yep.
And that one he missed from 52 was like the first slice action we've seen.
Yep.
Oh, man.
I just have a feeling. It feels in some ways that they are sort of closing their eyes, covering their ears, and saying, okay, just go out and do it. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Committed.
And kickers, man, that never works. And kickers are such a different breed.
They're kind of pot committed at this point.
Write this down.
All right, Dax, your final prediction.
All right, so the face mask one was sniped by you. Great call there. So write this down instead. I'll audible. The Vikings will have a non-quarterback touchdown pass against the Rams.
They've tried. I feel like every time they've tried, the play just ends in a disaster.
Blows up.
I know. So
Every time the Lions try something like that, it's just like a wide open touchdown.
Yep.
The Vikings lose 10 yards or something terrible happens.
Well, even against the Lions, and it was more of a ref issue, right? Because like they had Jefferson in the backfield to do some type of trickery, and then the play got delayed because the spot wasn't right, and then you could tell KOC was pissed. So then Detroit was able to counter. There was something goofy that happened there too. I think Jefferson was lined up to do something a little unorthodox.
The refs did KO a favor.
Let's not do this, Kevin.
The ref's like, do you see what happens every time you do this? I'm going to save you from yourself, Kevin.
Yeah. Okay, and then in the spirit of
Write this down.
the bounce back here, the way I'll quantify this is, so I think the Vikings come out hot. I don't think that loss was a death knell. This is a very 50-50 game, and we'll do our full breakdowns and predictions the rest of the week. But I think the Vikings come out hot. Write this down. The Vikings will score a touchdown on their first offensive and or defensive possession. I'm going to give myself some wiggle room. So they're either going to start with like a pick six and take the lead or a scoop and score, and or they're just going to march down and score a touchdown on their first offensive drive.
Love it.
So write it down.
Write this down.
Okay. Quarterback cesspool challenge here, boys. It's been a few weeks.
Everybody hold your water.
Here's what we're going to do. Here's what I propose to you guys. Because the regular season is over. And what we did last year is we had like a regular season champion, and then we had a postseason champion. It just kind of, I don't know. Let's just let it roll through the postseason. And we will have one 2024-25 quarterback cesspool challenge winner. So we have the 4 rounds. What'll happen is the first 3 rounds, all 3 of us will pick quarterbacks. And every week, because the pool narrows off. In the regular season, once you use a quarterback, you can't use him again. The pool resets in the playoffs, and it resets every week.
Okay.
And then for the Super Bowl round, whoever is in last place is eliminated before the Super Bowl round. And it'll be the top 2 season-long overall scorers will face off in the Super Bowl. So we instead of having like a regular season, postseason champion, we will have one champion at the end of the year.
Okay.
You guys good with that?
Yep.
And I will say, we'll go through the results from a few weeks ago. Old Dex Tweets is flying down the backstretch here. He backdoored this. He picked Tim Boyle for the Giants this is week 16. And Drew Lock wound up getting the start. And Declan had not used his guy, Drew Lock, yet.
Told you.
So Drew Lock winds up with the worst QBR of any quarterback in the league in week 16, a 7.2 for Dex Tweets.
Bang. I feel bad for Judd though, because like when you get the 19, like a sub 20, and you don't win, like that's frustrating. It helps the cumulative score for sure, but like
yeah. So Judd continues his great run. You picked Dorian Thompson-Robinson, DTR?
Yes, who was absolutely awful for Cleveland.
For a 19.1 QBR. I had Geno Smith. Actually, that's wrong. It was a 58.9 QBR for Geno Smith.
Yeah, okay.
Against the Vikings defense.
That would be a phenomenal QBR right there.
Yeah, it was not 80.8. So Declan picks up the weekly win, which gives him just for fun 5 weekly wins. Judd was 7. I have 4. The real score that matters is the aggregate average QBR on the season. And Judd, you're at 37. 50 is average.
Yeah, this puts me in the jackpot now to keep, like if we stopped it now, I would take a bow. I would run around the house. Stella and I would celebrate.
Yeah. But now you gotta comb through the playoffs. You might have to pick good quarterbacks who perform at a peak level.
That's my point. I feel like this is just really, really going to be tough on me now.
So you're at 37. I'm at 45.6. But Declan, who was way back for most of the season, is now at 48.9 average QBR with the playoffs to go here. And yeah, if you're new to this thing, we are looking to identify bad quarterback play every single week in the NFL. So we all draft a quarterback, hope that they play like garbage, and then it's just a 0 to 100 QBR scale from ESPN.com. So we're going to draft in reverse order of last week's standings, as we always do. So I'll get the first pick, Jug gets the second pick, Declan gets the third pick. The pool resets for the season and week to week now. So every quarterback that's playing is eligible to be drafted Super Wildcard weekend. And there's a few different interesting options here. You got Bo Nix playing in his first ever playoff game. You got Russell Wilson and that anemic Steelers offense against the Ravens. CJ Stroud just kind of having a mess season against that Chargers defense that's been really good.
Yep.
So I think I'm gonna go Bo Nix on the road, first ever playoff game. Tough to pass on a rookie in this spot here. So give me Bo Nix against the Buffalo Bills.
All right. So the two that I have looked at the longest are obviously the Steelers and Wilson. But here's the other interesting conundrum: the Eagles. Mm-hmm. Because Jalen Hurts, to your point from earlier in the show, Phil, is going to come back probably after weeks off, or they're going to have to start a backup quarterback against the Packers.
And for the rules, for just a refresher, let's say Judd picks a quarterback for the Eagles, and that quarterback doesn't play. Well, you would get the backup quarterback.
Yes. So I would basically be taking the Eagles quarterback. It doesn't. It could be one of three actually. But man, the Steelers have looked bad. The Steelers have played terrible, and it doesn't feel like they can overcome it. Like they've lost 4 consecutive games, and they're going to go play that Baltimore defense in Baltimore, in Charm City. Give me Russell Wilson.
Wow, there it is. Justin Fields maybe gets a little run there. We'll see.
Well, Baltimore's out for blood. It's playoff time. Outdoors.
And Baltimore has a hard time, like Lamar Jackson has a hard time beating the Steelers. There's a lot of narratives that he's trying to overcome here. See. All right, Declan.
All right, so yeah, I think like the Eagles option's probably the most logical one, just because even if it is Jalen Hurts, he's been injured and out of action for a while, and whether it's Kenny Pickett or Tanner McGee, I think is the other option there for Philadelphia.
Tanner McGee.
So I will stick with that. I'll just say, should I just say Jalen Hurts, but it's going to be the Eagles starting quarterback, whoever the hell it is.
All right. So Declan with Eagles QB.
Yeah.
Randall
Jaws
Cunningham.
comes off the bench. I can still
Kevin
play.
Cobb.
Kevin Cobb. He's got Nick Foles going in this game. And then I've got Bo Nix, and Judd has Russell Wilson. By the way, I did pull up, out of curiosity, I pulled up Prize Picks here, which is a great way for you to potentially win up to 1,000 times your money. Prize Picks app, use the code Purple Daily, get $50 instantly when you play just $5. Justin Jefferson, you predicted 100-plus yards. He's at 90.5 on Prize Picks. Here's a fun one. Josh Oliver at 5.5 yards. Basically, will Josh Oliver catch a pass?
Oh, yeah.
I almost for my third pick when I had to audible, I was either going to do a Josh Oliver or a Trent Sherfield touchdown, like a wackier touchdown.
Yeah. I don't think Sherfield is on Prize Picks here, but they're digging deep for Josh Oliver. I think Josh Oliver might be involved in something here, but just open up that Prize Picks app. It's super easy. You pick between 2 and 6 players, and you pick more or less on their projected stats. You place your entry. Bing, bam. Purple Daily as the code to get $50 instantly when you play just $5. Prize Picks. Run your game. All right. We're in the thick of it. That event at Padres last night was a blast. I feel like people have kind of gotten over the sting of the loss to some extent.
Well, and it's playoff time. Like, I'm glad. Like this week's fun still.
Yeah. I mean, the recency bias really does dictate how fans and a lot of media feel.
Sure.
Because if you were to go back like 6 months and say, okay, the Vikings are going to go 14-3. Here are Sam Darnold's season-long numbers. There's a little bit of an asterisk in that the Lions are somehow better. The Lions are like a 15-win team, and so you will have to play a road playoff game against the Rams. But how do you feel about that? Go back to May. I think we'd all say, wow, That's
14 win team.
crazy. Let's let it
Well,
ride and see what happens.
And I think it wouldn't feel like it was going to be a Vikings playoff time if there wasn't trepidation involved too. Like I have trepidation. Like what Darnold did scares me. Like I'm not like, oh yeah, he's fine, but trepidation doesn't mean I'm not excited about the game.
Because you can compartmentalize your feelings.
And plus, do you
Yes.
really want to be a Vikings fan going into a playoff just like totally like, yeah, Sam Darnold's they're gonna kick it. I mean, it's playoffs. It's tough.
This is still, I don't know. I think there's some years where, and we've talked about the 98 season, the 09 season, there's times where your team goes in, and whether they are the number one seed or not, like in 09, they weren't the number one seed, but it felt like they were the best team in the bracket. And you had Favre playing at an MVP level. There are years where it feels like the expectation is that
Yes.
you should take advantage of this.
Yes.
This is your shot right now. This is a shot for the Vikings.
Right.
But I don't feel like it is the shot for the Vikings. I feel like especially if you go over to the AFC bracket, the Lions are better. Doesn't mean that if they play each other again for a third time, the Vikings can't win. And that's the beauty of football is like you get one turnover that goes the wrong way or something. And then the Chiefs are literally in the middle of a dynasty on the AFC side. So if the goal is to win a Super Bowl, you are not expected to win a Super Bowl. Lions, Chiefs, even the Josh Allen Buffalo Bills. So I look at it as a little bit more of, even though they won 14 games and had a shot at the 1 seed, they're underdogs. They're going on the road. They have Sam Darnold as their starting quarterback. This is a free roll for the next month and a window that's opening for a long time. So I'm going in with kind of a house money, joyful expectation.
And despite the 14 wins too, this doesn't. Yeah, you're right. This has never to me felt like 98 or 09 as far as like the expectation goes. Like I've never, in accumulating a very impressive 14 victories, I have never at any point this year thought to myself, juggernaut for sure right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably
really
a little,
good team. Really good team.
It's probably a little bit more like 17. Because like when Case Keenum takes over as the starting QB, I believe that was week 2. In 17, great defense, but I never said, oh man, this team unbeatable.
Case Keenum's gonna roll in and beat Tom Brady in a Super Bowl. It would have been a home stadium Super Bowl, so the dynamic would have been.
And in
crazy.
fairness too, guess what? The common word. I had trepidation then too, because of Case. Now my trepidation with Case was year long. With Sam, I was starting to get like a little bit cocky, a little bit confident. And then Sunday night happened. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna back off a little bit.
Now we can, that's the thing. If they would have beat the Lions, then it kind of shifts to, okay, now the expectation is now you're playing home games, you get the bye.
Oh,
you just knocked off
totally
the Lions.
changed.
It's different. It
Totally
changes
changed.
everything.
Yep.
So be on the lookout. We're going to hit you with a second episode of Purple Daily on this Wednesday where we rank 2 things. Judd will rank the 14 playoff teams in his pigskin pecking order, and I will rank the 14 playoff quarterbacks, and we can see where the Vikings and Sam Darnold fall going into Super Wildcard weekend. For the sports dad, for formerly mustached producer Declan, I am Phil. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. See ya.